Welcome to Seven Rivers Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson. Each week, an inside look into sports, wellness, and fitness. Well, this week the spotlight shines on Logan High School, the home of the Rangers, with seniors George Luckner, Jonah Gruen, and next to me, Dane Hoff. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us.
As we tape the show here on May 26th, the Rangers on the heels of a loss to Toma. You have Sparta, Anna, Central, GET, and Holman left before playoffs. George, thoughts on the season so far?
Well, obviously our record does not show our extent to where we could be. We could be in a much, much better place, but most of our games end up being either we hold in it for half the game and we just can't play a full 7 innings, or we just start on the wrong foot and can't get anything started from the beginning.
When I talked to you before the broadcast last week, Dane, we talked about your losses and some of the dilemma you faced, and you pointed out to me that in many of those games, you were ahead early on.
That is correct, yeah. We've been ahead in every single conference game we've been in, besides one.
And then the wheels come off the proverbial bus? Or?
Yeah, later in the game, yeah. Like George said, we don't play all 7.
But it's not due, Jonah, to effort, is it? It may be mistakes, which everyone makes. But the effort and the coaching is there. It just kind of haven't been able to put it all together yet.
Yeah, I mean, we're working hard. It's just not going together right now, but I got faith. We're a good ball team. We'll pull it together.
As we look ahead then, we talked about who you have, a doubleheader with Sparta. As we tape the show here, you're going to be playing a doubleheader against them in 24 hours, and then into the postseason, which begins on June 10th. Are we going to see a different Rangers squad as we end the season and launch into the postseason, Dane?
Yeah, we should. Usually teams get better, and I hope that happens for us. Looking into our regional, we have a pretty good chance, so I think we'll make a good run in regionals.
Jonah, this chapter of your life is leaving, passing by, and you're ready for the next chapter. Give us an assessment of your high school days. What stands out, not only in baseball and football, but what are some defining moments for you?
I don't know. I feel like probably the most defining moment for me in my whole high school career is beating Central in the Arc football. I mean, you said no football or baseball, but that's probably the best moment of my whole high school career.
But you're a standout in the classroom, too. So, and remember, the reference is student athlete. So talk about your dedication to academics.
Well, I don't know. I mean, school has never come that hard to me, so it's been pretty easy to keep on track of it. But I don't know. I just give it all in the classroom and do my best, and it turns out well for me, I guess.
Good. And George, you're a student athlete too, and when you look at your high school years, I've followed all 3 of you, of course. When you look at what you've accomplished, share your thoughts on that.
Well, I think my favorite part about high school, at least the part that I've really enjoyed participating in the most, obviously, is sports. It's what taught me the most. No, it's a student athlete, but a lot of the learning also comes on the field. And it teaches you so much about life, and I love that.
Dane, student athlete, as I look at your profile, honor roll, academic standout, highest honor roll, all academic Wisconsin letter, recognition letter, and so on. You've worked hard in the classroom too.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is like playing sports, come from playing sports, because you can't play sports if you don't have good grades. Can't go on to the next level if you don't have good grades. And my favorite part probably of it is just earning scholarships to go to college. It's probably mine.
You know, guys, the world has changed for all of us in the last year and a half, a little longer, in terms of the pandemic, virtual school, no sports, didn't have spring sports last year, an abbreviated football season. everything in disarray, everything torn apart, many things taken away. How has what's happened in terms of the pandemic and racial injustice issues, how has that changed you, Dane?
I think with the pandemic, it definitely has changed me with like just like information, I guess. Like for what, 8 months, we weren't able to do anything. A lot of people couldn't work, and then the racial injustice part. I mean, I go to school with people of different color, and it just hurts me to see some things that happen.
You know, one thing I like about Logan, and a lot of schools are the same way, Central is, and schools that I visit. Logan is kind of a United Nations of children, Jonah, and that means that there's African American, Asian, Native American, different economic situations. It's a blend of, but it's not a perfect school, of course. There's issues, but it seems like there's mutual respect. I don't see a lot of the tension that exists in other parts of society. What's your thought on that, Jonah?
I agree with you. I love Logan. Logan's done a fabulous job of including everyone in our school. I mean, the supervisors, the principal, Mr. Jimico, he does a great job. I love Logan.
So, George, someday you guys will be making the decisions. You will be elevated to a level where you're making community decisions and national decisions. You'll have family, children. So the decisions will be in your hands. The future is going to be yours. How do you want to see this country in the next 20, 30, 40 years?
Well, I want everyone to take leadership over their own lives, and I think that's very important. And I think one good thing about this past year is that people have been more tolerable with each other, and it's kind of settled in with everybody that we all have to live together and really be understanding of people's different situations. And
so you're telling our viewers that things have improved?
in a way, I mean, we've had a lot of bad stuff happen, but I mean, everyone's learning from all this, and I think in the future things will be better because of it.
Do you see any divisiveness at Logan? Do you see some of the peripheral things that maybe occur within races? You see that, Dane?
At Logan in like general, I don't think so. No, I think Logan does a good job of like keeping everybody equal, and yeah, just keeping everybody equal. But not at Logan, you obviously can see it.
Yeah. So, you know, when you guys decided to be an athlete when you were younger, with the decision to be an athlete, you're elevated to a platform that maybe other students aren't at that platform unless they're, you know, high-profile activities, athletics, and so on. So when you are elevated to a platform, that platform is raised and there's accountability. There's transparency. I mean, you people know George, they know Jonah, they know Dane, and you're out in the community, and you have an obligation to be a ranger that young people watching this show and watching you perform, they look up to you. That's a pretty awesome level of responsibility. Have you thought of that, Jonah?
Oh, I haven't thought of it like that. No. I don't know. It's definitely cool. It's definitely cool to be a leader among the school and be looked up to by youngers. And, I mean, I don't know. I enjoy it.
When people see you, George, out on the field, football field, baseball field, whether they're adults or young people, what do you want them to see?
I want them to see a winner, and a winner who takes accountability and is a good person, and that's pretty much it.
An athlete really it shows his true shining colors in practice. That's where athletes are made. And in the off season when they dedicate themselves to it. So the way you practice, the way you listen, often is a determining factor on how you play. Are you a practice player, Dane?
Everything I do in practice, I want to take into the game, and that's the only way you can get better. So you got to practice even harder than you play in the game.
So if I hid behind a tree and I watched a Logan practice and I had my binoculars on Dane, what would I see?
Someone that works hard, someone that's leading the team, and someone that's always listening, trying to get better.
Good. Describe, before we take a break, describe a Logan baseball practice. What do you do to get ready for a game, Jonah?
I don't know, just baseball practice. I don't know how to describe it.
Well organized, going through situational things.
Do all of it. I mean, we probably take hour of hitting, probably half and half, hitting and fielding. So then, I mean, get in the batting cages for about half the practice and work on fielding for the other half.
You're a senior, George. Are you one of the hardest working, best listeners on that team?
I try to be. I think coachability is probably the biggest up that seniors have on everybody else. When you're a freshman, obviously want to be coachable, but not everyone is like that. Seniors really get better at that.
You're a senior, Dane, and your job is not necessarily to manipulate or to get on younger players, but if you sense that they're not doing their job, or you sense they're not at the level they should be, or you sense drama, in your own leadership style, your job is to sort of get involved and maybe rectify the situation. How do you do that?
I usually come at them in a positive way, but also I guess a stern way, because it's all about carrying it on and having the program be better. So you don't want your freshmen or your sophomores, even your juniors, to be slacking off.
Mm-hmm. Good. Well, speaking of slacking off, we're going to slack off just for a little bit while we take a break. How's that?
Sounds good.
And when we come back, more here on Seven Rivers Sports.
With our busy lives, it's a comfort to know that we can still remember loved ones in a traditional way with a monument. Lewiston Monuments in Lewiston, Minnesota has been helping families purchase a monument for over 4 generations. You'll find a large selection of beautiful granite, marble, and bronze monuments, all at competitive prices. And they're a full-service company, so they also do straightening, cleaning, and repair of monuments. Stop in or call for a no-obligation consultation, or visit lewistonmonument.com for more information.
You know, the thing I'm most proud of when I think about our company is the reputation that we've been able to build in this community. Our technicians have done a great job going out and performing magnificent jobs for the customer. And our customers have rewarded us with some really great reviews online.
We have over 150 5-star reviews online right now. Our technicians do a great job out there, and our reviews show it.
We can say without hesitation, when you choose Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, you'll be glad you did.
Seven Rivers Sports, spotlight on the Logan Rangers here this week with the Dane Hoff, Jonah Gruen, and George. George, what's your last name again, George?
Luckner.
We know that. Hi, George Luckner. All right. You, by the way, you did a great job in the first half of the show. Well, I talked to a couple of your coaches this week about you, starting with Jonah. I talked to Casey Noble, your football coach. You had a great season as you ended the year. You ended the abbreviated season with that win over Central, and he said this about Jonah: plays for the love of the game, brings a great deal of fun and attitude into everything he does. Played the opposite edge with Trent and allowed him to use his speed, but you showcased your talent too. In fact, our viewers, maybe if they watched, would remember that 2 of the games this season, including the Central win, you are our player of the game.
Really? That's an honor.
So what's your thought on what Coach Noble said?
I don't know. Thank you, I guess. I mean, he's a great coach.
And he said this about you, George. Willing to do anything for his team and his teammates. Made a couple of tremendous hits on kickoffs. I think I saw those. Both you and Jonah found the weight room. You found the location of the weight room, which was a good step first. And then you developed yourself into being having a good career. Thought, George?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very happy to hear that from Noble. I mean, I'll look up to him. I think he's one of the favorite coaches that I've ever had. But yeah, he always stresses about the weight room. Obviously, that's super important.
And Coach Ellenberger said this about Dane Hoff, great leader, good baseball IQ. Well, he learned that when he was playing when he was younger. And has a fun personality. Does that describe you?
Yeah, I'd say it would.
Anything else that you think that you display when you're playing and practicing?
I think I'm kind of funny. I mean, but like you said, I definitely agree with him that I'm a leader, and I hope people look up to me.
You think you're funnier than me, or what?
Probably not. No, probably not.
So, but you've had good careers, and you should look back on your high school years with fondness. What is next for Dane Hoff?
I'm going to UWL, and I'm going to major in business finance.
And then where's that going to take you?
Hopefully just helping people out with their money, their finance problems.
So, sharing some wisdom as to how to invest? Or is that in the next chapter, the third chapter?
It's probably the third chapter, yeah.
And you're going to UWL, so you're going to stick around. But you have the ability to play collegiate baseball, too. And of course, you played started when you were very young, and watching you play and watching you grow up has been a big part of our life. Never thoughts on playing into the future?
It has been a thought. I guess I'm still thinking about it. I think after North Star season and Legion season, I think I'll probably make a final decision what I'll be doing.
Good. Jonah, you got the next chapter of your life ahead of you, too?
Yep. Oh, I'm going to Madison for engineering.
Big city, big campus.
Yep.
Can you handle that one?
I hope so.
Oh, I'm sure you can.
Yeah. Sounds like it feels like it's going to be fun.
So of course, you've been to Madison. You know what the expectations are. Are you a little nervous about that too?
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously. I mean, if I'm not nervous, I'm doing something wrong, I guess.
Because you're close to your family and your siblings, and so I'm sure you'll be back occasionally.
Yeah.
Major?
Engineering.
Okay. So you're that's your skill set, that's your passion? Mm-hmm. Good. And where's George going to end up?
Well, I'm planning on being an electrician. I've always liked working with my hands. Most of the trade jobs interest me. So I think this is a job with high job security and good pay. And
you've done your research, because a lot of people that haven't don't quite understand the need, the pay, and of course the expectations, but it is a lot of people are steered in that direction now. You've always wanted to do that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, good. So when you look back on your high school days, by the way, did you have a favorite teacher, a favorite subject, George?
I'd say my favorite subject was U.S. history. I mean, I love this country. I've always liked learning about it, and it really translates into who we are now.
Yeah. Jonah, no, you can't say your mom or dad, who, by the way, teaches Logan. But you have a favorite subject, favorite teacher?
Well, I'd say probably one of my favorite teachers is Mr. Ziegler, AP Environmental Science. It's a fun class.
And Dean, who's your favorite sub, anyway?
That's a tough one. I think it's Mr. Terry Erickson.
Oh, that's a joke, by the way, but I do some relief educating once in a while. But do you have a favorite teacher and subject?
Well, business would be my favorite subject. It's what I'm majoring in, and then definitely Mr. Wall is my favorite teacher.
Speaking of that, you know, we've all had people that have inspired us. You, George, you, Jonah, and Dane, people that have inspired you. I have several. Who's inspired you, Dane?
Well, you know him pretty well. Jake Erickson has inspired me a lot. He's helped me out since I was like 4 years old, helped my mom out. He's just a great guy that I look up to and hope to be one day.
And Mr. Wall, too, huh?
Yep.
Former GET baseball star. I remember those days.
Correct.
So good. Jonah, your brothers, too, have had an impact on you. Anybody else?
I don't know. I think really who I really look up to is Josh, my oldest brother, because I don't know, he already kind of went through the engineering path, and he's doing good, so I'm just going to try to follow in his footsteps.
Yeah, how about any coaches or teachers?
Any coaches? I'd say Coach Noble, probably, I look up to the most.
Mm-hmm. And George, you have many people. You got an extended family, too, that I see at games and so on. You've had people that have inspired you.
Yeah, I think my grandpa has been the one that's inspired me the most. He's taught me that hard work pays off. You get out what you put in, and to always give it your all, and that's super, super important. It's helped me out a ton.
You know, we all have disappointments in our life, and it's how you respond and rebound and change your in terms of those disappointments. You had any big disappointments, George?
I'd say my biggest disappointment is missing out on junior year of baseball. I was so prepared mentally and physically to just go crazy this season, but...
How'd you handle that? Because a lot of people have mental health issues as a result of setbacks.
Yeah, I mean, it really changed the way I thought. I'm so used to a schedule where, like, everything you do it's for sure going to be that way, but it really switched that things are in my hands and there's more out there that I have to work on.
So you've learned and grown as a result of that setback?
Absolutely.
How about in Jonah's life? Have you had any things that'll be like, oh, I don't know if I can get through this one, and maybe made you a better person?
I can't really think of much off the top of my head. I mean, probably the biggest disappointment was, I don't know. I can't think of anything.
You've had a good life.
Yeah, my parents made way for me. I mean,
Yeah. So how are you gonna handle disappointments if they occur, when they occur in your future?
ask for guidance, I guess. I mean,
Good answer. Yeah, because a lot of people internalize those setbacks, and then they don't ask for guidance. Yeah, Dane, have you had any real challenges that have kind of questioned your faith and questioned your confidence?
Yeah, I definitely have. I think with just in sports in general, maybe not making the team, that has definitely questioned my confidence. And then kind of like George said, the not having baseball season for junior year, not being able to play with those seniors that I've grown up with my whole life, kind of set me back a lot.
What's some advice that you would share, and I'll let you think about it in a minute, but because there's a lot of young people that watch the show, and maybe they lack confidence, maybe their opportunities aren't there, but they would someday want to be a George Luckner. They'd want to be a Jonah Gruen. They'd want to be a Dane Hoff. And they're not sure what path to take, how to develop those academic and athletic skills. What would be some advice you'd want to share?
Well, the golden rule, treat others the way you want to be treated, is definitely something I live up to, and I hope everybody does. And then athletic-wise, you just got to put the work in. You can't be really good at anything you do if you don't put the work in, no matter how much talent you have.
Does your philosophy of life and your what defines you, would you agree, and what advice would you give to young people?
I'd say just have fun while you're like at it. Just have fun in life, and the dice will roll whatever way they roll. I mean, you gotta deal with stuff as they come.
Seeing you around school and knowing you like I do, you seem to be a pretty upbeat person, and you seem to enjoy each day. Do you get up in the morning with that attitude?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's hard to keep rolling if you get up in the morning and aren't happy. I mean, new day. You just gotta take advantage of what life gives you.
So that would be your personality. You enjoy life and you have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Well, George, the pressure's on. You're the last one to give some solid advice to our young people.
Well, I would say always give it your all and always pour your heart out into what you do. You don't have a whole lot of time. I mean, I think my favorite quote is, every accomplishment started with the decision to try, and that's really changed the way I look at the world.
Have you always had that philosophy?
No, I haven't, but switching to that has really helped me a lot.
So you've taken that step, and then it's been successful for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it reminds me of authors talking about having a passion, not entering into things in your life lukewarm. You just go in with all the passion and energy that you can, submerge yourself in it, and you guys have done that throughout your high school years, and it's produced some good results. So I would venture to say you have very few regrets in your life so far. And I just seeing your head shake, I'm confident that you feel good about what you've accomplished. But you're going to accomplish a lot more, all three of you. And you accomplished one thing by being on the show and doing such a great job. So, George, Jonah, Dane, thanks for being on the show, guys.
Thanks for having us.
We'll be back with some closing thoughts right after this.
You know, the thing I'm most proud of when I think about our company is the reputation that we've been able to build in this community. Our technicians have done a great job going out and performing magnificent jobs for the customer. And our customers have rewarded us with some really great reviews online.
We have over 150 five-star reviews online right now. Our technicians do a great job out there, and our reviews show it.
We can say without hesitation, when you choose Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, you'll be glad you did.
When you're faced with the decision of selecting a monument to honor someone dear to you, call Lewiston Monuments for a no-obligation consultation. Lewiston Monument is a full-service monument company serving families in Iowa, Minnesota, and Wisconsin for over 4 generations. You'll find beautiful granite, marble, and bronze memorials, all at competitive prices. Their experts can help you design the perfect and unique memorial. Lewiston Monument. Call today or on the web at lewistonmonument.com.
Two postseason games on Tuesday night, and we were there to bring you all of the action. The Aquinas baseball team only managed 3 hits and made 4 errors in a Division III regional semifinal game against Melrose Mindoro, but it still found a way to advance. Center fielder Jack Christensen slugged an inside-the-park home run, and the top-seeded Blue Goals maximized their base runners to grab a victory from the 4th-seeded Mustangs and earn a regional championship game. Aquinas, ranked 3rd by state coaches, gave up its only run in the 4th, and it was unearned. Starting pitcher Nolan Hargrove pitched 6 innings and struck out 6, walked 2, and allowed 5 hits, and Kaylor Key finished by striking out 2 in the 7th. Melrose Mindoro was led by catcher Eli Miller's 3-for-4 afternoon. Carson Koss drove in Tucker Sabraja for the run, which cut an early Aquinas lead to 2-1, but the Blue Goals responded with a 2-run 5th inning. Riley Clark also doubled for Aquinas, and Chris Wilson singled, walked, and drove in a run. Eddie Peters was hit by a pitch twice, and Calvin Hargrove added an RBI. Players of the game were winning pitcher Nolan Hargrove and center fielder Jack Christensen for the Blue Goals, and losing pitcher Bryson Gosh for Melrose Mindoro. Final from Lee Gilbert Field, the Blue Goals 5 and the Mustangs 1. Well, our other crew was in West Salem at the Damian Miller Field, West Salem versus GET. The top-seeded Panthers scored 3 runs in the second inning, 2 in the fourth, and 3 more in the fifth to offset a 5-run fifth inning for the Redhawks. C.J. McConkey was 3 for 3 with a double and 3 RBIs for West Salem, which had 11 hits and stole 7 bases. Carson Kepnick stole 3 of those bases, and Brennan Kennedy had 2 more. Gavin Holst was also 2 for 3, and Luke Knoll 2 for 2 for the Panthers, who host third-seeded Sparta in a regional final on Wednesday. Justin Barney struck out 6 batters over 5 innings and allowed 5 runs, all unearned, on 7 hits and 1 walk as West Salem made 4 errors. Well, the final, West Salem 8 and GET 6. Well, that does it this week here on Seven Rivers Sports. I'm your host, Terry Erickson, hoping that you will have an active and a healthy weekend.